Hi, I'm Sharon from the Phoenix Journey, and I'm coming to you from a very chilly Torquay, which is about an hour and a half from Melbourne, on the Surf Coast in Victoria. It is spring, apparently. It's also spring in Southern Africa, but it gets warmer a little slower here where I'm at. Okay, I'm really excited to be presenting to you this package called Sacred Soul Southern Africa. It is one transformative journey that I've spent a lot of time curating, hand selecting locations, hotels, properties, experiences, restaurants. Everything has been put together with the utmost care so that you experience the very best of what Southern Africa has to offer. Because this might be the one time that you travel to this location. So it is coming in 3 different formats, and that means 3 different levels of luxury. So I have put together 3 options that I call No Worries, LUXE Awakening, and Transcendent Immersion. No Worries is priced in Australian dollars for my Australian family, my Australian clients, so that there's no confusion and calculations necessary. I've made that really accessible. LUXE Awakening is an elevated experience, more luxury, more time. So 14 nights guided by myself, whereas No Worries is 12 nights guided by myself. Transcendent Immersion is the pinnacle of luxury and experience. Private everything, business class local flights, and helicopter transfers into resorts most of the time. So I'll highlight exactly what those are and where there are road transfers. And with Transcendent Immersion, I meet and greet at the airport when you arrive into Southern Africa, into either Johannesburg, OR Tambo, or Cape Town International. And then I hand you over to my expert guides on the ground. So that's how those 3 formats work. And just to keep in mind that all local flights, all transfers, meals, experiences, and hotels are included in this package. So that excludes international flights and travel insurance, which is really an important one to remember. Right, so this is me, Sharon. I've already introduced myself a little bit from the Phoenix Journey. My host agency is Fora, and we are Virtuoso affiliated. I come from 3rd generation aviation lineage. My grandfather, my father, both worked at South African Airways for their entire careers. So this travel is and knowledge about airports, logistics. It's already in my DNA. That's my dad over there who went to fetch the first fleet of Airbus A380s from Toulouse. He's there at Airbus. Some other little pictures that I've included there. As a family, we have been welcoming international guests and guiding them around, hosting them in Southern Africa since the 80s. So that's 10-year-old me over there and 16-year-old me or 14-year-old me with international guests from the UK and Germany. Right, so iconic Southern Africa. There is a reason why I have chosen these locations. People feel like the quintessential experience of Africa is visiting the Masai Mara. And while I have no issue with that, my strong feeling is that this experience of Southern Africa is really underrated. It honestly puts together the most comprehensive itinerary for ethical luxury and deep transformative experience for travelers on the ground, especially in a conscious way where we contribute towards communities. We support hotels and properties that have honestly been involved in conservation and community upliftment for decades. So we're really able to promote that responsible tourism in these 4 iconic locations. They are UNESCO World Heritage Sites for a reason. We, however, really peel back the layers. I've been traveling to these locations for over 40 years. So my family, we're not beach people, we were bush people, and we would go into the bush at every opportunity. So in the previous photo, I think that one of 10-year-old me is in the Kruger National Park, which honestly felt like my backyard growing up. As well as going to Victoria Falls in Botswana every year growing up for my school holidays. I really know exactly which experiences, as well as all the details about weather, about border controls, etc. So having a guided experience with me, it's a seamless experience where we really focus on a luxury elevated experience, no matter which of the levels of luxury formats you choose. Right, so let's get into a bit of the detail here. I think we have already looked at some of this before, so no worries. Each of the different journey formats visits the same locations. Some are in different orders because I have centered visiting the locations around energetic portal points. So we are really immersing ourselves in this experience for a transformative, contemplative, sensory experience that does tend to be one of those moments in your life that you will always refer back to. So I don't use the word transformative lightly. This is honestly a journey for people who are really called to Africa by these powerful energies of the sacred sites of Southern Africa, and being held in an intentional container, this guided experience. So the No Worries package is timed to really capitalize on the full moon lunar eclipse that takes place on the 3rd of March 2026. And we want to be in Victoria Falls to experience the lunar rainbows, which are a unique phenomenon that can be seen only 3 nights of the month when the moon is at its brightest. The way the moonlight hits the mist of the waterfall and creates these lunar rainbows, the local people call these bridges between the worlds, and it really is a spiritual experience to bear witness to this phenomenon. The energy during these eclipse portals is also said to be times where mystics actually refer to these points in time as portal moments. They say the veil between the worlds becomes thin and transformation accelerates exponentially. So everything about this journey is geared towards having transformative experience in these sacred landscapes. So that all happens at the beginning of that journey, and that's why we first start in Victoria Falls. We then move on to Botswana, the Okavango Delta and Sodilo Hills, before moving on to Cape Town and Franschhoek, then back to Cape Town for the exit flight. LUXE Awakening is a little bit different in the order of the locations. We start on the 18th of March. This journey is centered around the dates of the equinox that happen in South Africa on the 21st of September. So we first spend 2 nights in Franschhoek before we journey to Cape Town, so that we are in Cape Town and the sacred sites with Dean Laprini and Indigenous herbalist Levi. We actually have the opportunity to join their community event on the equinox. And then we have our own sacred sites visitation. It's a full day experience, either the day before the equinox or the day after the equinox that happens. And that is why we've ordered that itinerary in such a way that we go Franschhoek, Cape Town, Victoria Falls, Botswana, and then back to Cape Town. Transcendent Immersion has been ordered in a way that in this way specifically, so that I can ensure that my Luxury clients are able to fly business class locally. So before booking international flights, it's recommended that clients arrive into Johannesburg International so that we can transfer through local airline on business class from Johannesburg to Maun in Botswana. So we start this itinerary in the Okavango Delta, and then on to Victoria Falls via helicopter transfer, and then from Victoria Falls, business class flight to Cape Town, and then to Franschhoek. So every journey taken to Southern Africa in this package funds a pre-primary school child's education for an entire year through One Life, a non-profit organization breaking the cycle of poverty in communities located between Cape Town and the Winelands through education. And every journey funds one child's transformative. This is such a life transforming contribution because it is now proven that a strong entry point into education in these communities specifically means 4 times more success in later life, in later education. So 4 times more likely to complete their education, these children in these communities, as well as transition successfully into employment, which transforms their lives, it transforms their families' lives, as well as the community at large. So this is a really powerful contribution and ripple effect of transformation that happens for you as well as a result of your journey. So we'll start with the location. Okay, so we are at Victoria Falls. We'll jump right in here, and I will explain from the perspective of the No Worries journey format. And then what I'll do is I'll just explain the differences between the packages. So even though we might have different routings, the flow between the locations, the experience of the locations remains the same. The Victoria Falls, named after Queen Victoria. So let's have a look at the accommodation. We've hand selected accommodation on the Zambezi River frontage for all the packages. So whether you're staying, no worries, we're staying either at the Radisson Blu or Palm River Hotel when it is available for booking. The Palm River Hotel is on the Zimbabwe side, and the Radisson Blu is on the Zambia side of the Zambezi. As I said, you have this incredible river frontage with the wild animals like zebra and giraffe, warthog, really roaming through the hotel properties, gardens. It is a really unique experience to be on these hotel properties. The Brown family, which has built the Palm River Hotel, and it's a recently opened hotel. They started their hotel legacy around 1991 with their flagship hotel, Ilala Lodge. I think I stayed in Ilala Lodge about 2 years after it opened. That was probably around 1993, a very long time ago. And you can see the rooms they are interleading rooms available, and amazing daily high tea that's included in the package in your accommodation rate. And the styling of the Palm River Hotel is Queensland, Australian Queensland elegance that really suits this location. The Radisson Blu is brand new, very contemporary. I'm going to show you the Royal Livingston. You can see that the Royal Livingston for LUXE Awakening is also on the Zambezi river frontage. The location is unparalleled. It's on the water. The waterfall is right there. As you can see, the game wanders through the location. It really is spectacular. Mitsetse Victoria Falls for Transcendent Immersion is located upriver in a game conservancy. So it's a safari experience as well. 136,000 acres of rehabilitated wild nature. So here the Gardner family has really created this conservation success story where now the elephant population, the lion population have restored from land that was essentially decimated and destroyed. This experience is made to be even more special. There's 14 kilometers of private Zambezi frontage. I think the head chef Alton creates food that he calls edible love, utilizing regionally sourced Zimbabwean beef and as well as lamb, using edible plants from the region. New menus created daily. The architecture of this property is also something to see. It's absolutely exquisite, and the way the architect has utilized the materials that are so quintessentially Zimbabwean, really like showcasing that basket weaving. You can see all the natural raw materials that blend so well. The experiences in Victoria Falls honestly are so rich, so diverse. We have swimming on the edge of the Victoria Falls in Angel's Pool, which is highly recommended. It is water level dependent, so you can swim in Angel's Pool between March and June, water level dependent, of course, as I said. And you can swim in Devil's Pool from August to December. Generally speaking, depending on what, how high the water is. So we've had a lot of rain in this last year. So it'll be interesting to see how that influences when Devil's Pool opens this year. There is also the Flight of Angels. You can see here, everybody gets to have a scenic above the waterfalls. This is the signature deck of the Zambezi Explorer. Their river cruises. The Elephant Cafe experience is a fine dining experience where the owner of Elephant Cafe, which is Zambia's #1 restaurant, has been developing her organic farm-to-table concept, or the gardens itself, for decades. And the experience here is truly unique. It's a really humbling and beautiful experience. There are guided fall tours. There's a local cultural village tour. You will eat incredible food and you will experience the incredible local cultures. You will dine underneath the stars. So when you land into Victoria Falls and you check into your hotel on the first day, usually the flights arrive after lunch. So we settle into our space and then we will go straight onto Elephant Cafe for the first night's dinner. We are collected from the hotel in a jet boat, and that jet boat goes upstream, navigates through some rapids. We're then ferried off to the sanctuary where we dine. We first have the experience with the elephants, and once they go into the bush to forage, then we will dine on some pretty incredible food that is like a real match between some of the European influences of cuisine as well as fused and with local ingredients. So there's a wild Kir Royale that kind of starts off the proceedings, and some other wonderful treats that I won't spoil by giving all the information. It's something that you will really love to experience. Right, and then moving on. So that's just speaking a bit more about the day-to-day. On the second day, it would be waking up and having breakfast in the hotel, and then having some free time in the morning just to explore the gardens, just relax and unwind by the pool, which is, again, on the river frontage, before we go off to our first activity of the day, which will be swimming in Devil's Pool, and then experiencing a gourmet lunch prepared by the operators, Green Safaris, who've got the rights to Livingston Island. They've got the sole rights to it. And they prepare an incredible experience of lunch right there on Livingston Island. We'll then come back to the hotel, and certain people will be invited to take the Flight of Angels helicopter experience that day, and others might want to rest before having a sunset cruise along the Zambezi. In this area, you want to be able to capture that golden sunset on the Zambezi with a nice cool beverage in your hand. And we do it in the utmost luxury and style on the Zambezi Explorer by Pure Africa. This is the picture. Mixologists will create your favorite cocktail. It's unlimited cocktails and canapes while you're on board the boat. And then we move on to dinner once we're finished with the cruise. And the dinner is also close by on the Zambezi waterfront, on the river frontage, and you'll experience some really traditional cuisine, something that's called a poiki, which translated means little pot or cute pot. And it is really a feast of flavor, all combined in a pot of deliciousness that's cooked on an open fire. The next day, you'll wake up and have your breakfast in the hotel again. And then it will be an excursion to tour the falls, have a private tour of the falls. You'll also have an opportunity to do some shopping in the village in Victoria Falls town, and buy art, curios, etc. And then we will have lunch as well as a cultural tour of the local villages, and get to meet locals and just really experience their warmth. They are just such an incredible nation, such a warm and inviting people. That night, we enjoy the Mukuni Boma dinner, and now it really gets traditional. So this is a really traditional experience of the area. A boma is an outside area that is created by some bamboo borders into this round circle enclosure. And inside there are fires and music and dancing and some candlelight. And this is, again, outside under the African sky. So, again, an incredible experience. The next morning is when we check out after breakfast, and we make our way to Kasane. So we do a border crossing on the next morning. We travel for about 45 minutes to Kasane in an air-conditioned vehicle, and then we arrive at Kasane before 11 o'clock so that we can then transfer with Safari Air into the Okavango Delta. So let's move on. Right, so we arrive into Kasane and then transfer with Safari Air in a caravan, a Cessna. The aircraft are 6-seaters or 8-seaters, depending, and they will take us into the heart of the Okavango Delta, either here in the central region or in the northern Panhandle region over here. So this is also subject to availability when booking, but the ideal is that with Desert and Delta Safaris, we travel to Namasiri Island Lodge for our 3 nights in the Delta. That is the No Worries package, is 3 nights in the Okavango Delta. If we stay at Namasiri Island Lodge, then we have the opportunity to take 1 night sleep out experience at Sodilo Hills, and this gives us access to where our common origin as humanity, where our common ancestors walked 100,000 years ago, and 4,500 rock art paintings are located, making this known as the Louvre of the Desert. So a really incredibly rich experience. This is a sacred site It has incredible energetic resonance. And we will visit Sodilo Hills and then return back to Namasiri Island Lodge. You also have the option of traveling into the heart of the Delta, spending 3 nights there, and having a helicopter experience around this location. It's a doors off experience in a helicopter, a scenic experience where you just get unparalleled views, the bird's eye view of this celebration of wildlife that congregates around this vital water source that appears as if by miracle in the middle of the desert. The helicopter experience, if you're staying at Namasiri Island Lodge, is a one-way transfer to Tsodilo Hills. And it is also incredibly rich in the game viewing experience is also exceptional. So that's for No Worries. For the LUXE Awakening package, it's 5 nights in the Delta. So you get to experience Namasiri Island Lodge as well as 2 nights in the heart of the Delta. So essentially, it's actually 3 locations. You get to see the heart of the Delta for 2 nights, Namasiri Island Lodge for 2 nights in the Northern Panhandle, as well as Tsodilo Hills. And for Transcendent Immersion, it's 3 nights at Kijera Safari Lodge, an absolute art mecca, 1,000 African art creations, making it a museum on the edge of the wilderness. There is included in Transcendent Immersion a day experience to Tsodilo Hills with helicopter transfers. So, right. Something that's really special about both Desert and Delta safaris and Kijera is their support for local communities. So Desert and Delta is really a pioneer in empowering the people of Botswana, all locally managed. So all their properties are locally managed. They have a wellness program that is quite revolutionary for the people working for Desert and Delta in these rural areas. And Chobe, which is one of their lodges, has all female, so all women guide team at Chobe Lodge. Kijera also supports women cooperatives in their procurement of vegetables, I believe. They support the local communities as much as possible with their produce, as well as in the design and the curation of every element of this of this property when it was reimagined and rebuilt. Right, so that is the Okavango Delta. This is some Desert and Delta lodges. These are actually 2 extremely new lodges in the Desert and Delta portfolio. So the LUXE Awakening package will stay at Sediba Serona. It's a brand new lodge that is only opening in March 2026. And we will stay there for 2 nights. And this is Kugana, which is also an option to stay. Then Kijera Safari Lodge. You can see the bath that is literally on the water's edge. The entire property was made without felling one tree. It's got a 0 concrete footprint. It has, it's fully solar powered. It saves 173,000 liters of diesel per year by utilizing solar. You can see it has exceptional art curation throughout. And these are the experiences of the Delta. So everybody will experience a Makoro safari, dining out in the bush, incredible wilderness experiences, wild animals. This is the sleep out experience at Kijera, which is in an architecturally designed baobab treehouse, fine dining, and the helicopter experience that everybody gets to experience, no matter what luxury level. You will see the Delta from the sky, not just in the fixed wing with the first 2 levels of luxury, but also in a helicopter, which offers a really unique experience. I think we move on to Tsodilo Hills, which I have already spoken to. LUXE Awakening and the No Worries package have the option to sleep in a Tsodilo pod and really experience the local San community's storytelling. These people have been on this land. The art that has been created here dates back 100,000 years. Some of it dates back all the way to the origins of humanity. And you'll get to experience this incredible energetic resonance of the land with a one-way transfer via helicopter for LUXE Awakening and No Worries. Then we move on from Maun. So Maun is located around here. Then we'll fly from Maun to Cape Town. And the mother city in March is something to behold. The weather is absolutely exquisite. It is at the end of the busy season. There's still an absolute vibe to Cape Town. And you'll get to experience this from a really central, vibey location called the Gorgeous George Hotel. It's a design hotel. It's an Edwardian building and a Art Deco building that have been converted to this hotel. This is Gigi Rooftop, the restaurant, which is incredibly popular, even with the locals, especially in the summer. There are DJs that play on the weekends, and it is the place to be. This is the rooftop. The rooms are really lovely, and it's just very centrally located, a really wonderful place to stay. For LUXE Awakening, again, we're in the middle, in the heart of town. You can see Table Mountain in the background. This is the Cape Cadogan. It is, again, a historical building, absolutely exquisite, with 4 nights in Cape Town. For Transcendent Immersion, this is another hotel that is doubled as an art museum. This is the largest collection of African art that dates back 2 centuries. So you walk through the corridors of this hotel. Everything is about storytelling. The staff here are personable, like family, basically. They feel like a family and they make you feel like your family. With only 12 rooms in the house, it's very intimate. Every night there are sunset drinks and canapes on the balcony. You have a mini bar with full bottles of everything your heart could desire in terms of drinks, which makes it a not so mini bar. In your room, there's an all-day pantry for people that feel pickish through the day. And of course, a sumptuous breakfast is included always. The dining experiences in Cape Town are quite exceptional. I'll talk to that. So for No Worries, people that arrive into Cape Town, you will arrive after lunch. You'll settle into your hotel and then just straight up to Gigi Rooftop Restaurant for an absolutely incredible meal. Cape Town is all about farm to table dining, sustainable, fresh, new menus daily. The mixologist here is from Johannesburg, recently moved down to Cape Town, and it brings quite a different level of just a real soulful vibe to what is on offer in terms of the drinks. But you're really going to have an incredible meal too. And then, of course, there will be DJ sets because I think you are arriving on the night of a weekend. And so you can boogie on down and really feel that Cape Town vibe. For Cape Cadogan, Gigi Rooftop is an option for dinner. There is also Kloof Street House. Both of these restaurants are actually super accessible and easy to get to for the night of your arrival. And I have chosen them because they are really memorable experiences in their own right, as well as restaurants, dining destinations. So those are 2 options for the night of your arrival there. Element House for the day of arrival, again, afternoon, you'll check in and you will dine in-house at the Peter Tempelhof is the head chef, and the restaurant is called Curated. It's absolutely exceptional. You'll have food paid with wine, and then just a few small footsteps to your bed where you can lay your head, your weary head, and rest for the night before the day of adventure that is ahead of you in Cape Town. So again, Cape Town is absolutely jam-packed with incredible fine dining restaurants, incredible experiences, including the Sacred Sites hike with Dean Laprini and Indigenous herbalist Levi, who brews the ancient plant medicine right there on the slopes where they've been growing for millions of years. You experience buhu and tortoiseberry, which were used by indigenous Khoisan people 100,000 years ago on these slopes for heart expansion and alignment to the sacred ley lines of the land. But Dean will explain all of that to you. We also get to experience sea kayaking with the penguins at Boulders Beach. There is private touring of the city for transcendent immersion that also has sampling of Cape Malay cuisine, and then touring options for LUXE Awakening and No Worries is via their unlimited pass on the Cape Town sightseeing red buses. They are topless, roofless buses, and they run on a schedule. There are different colored routes, and they literally take you all around the Cape Peninsula. So I will obviously guide a routing, but you can also choose your own adventure when doing that touring of the city. LUXE Awakening also has a private touring day, and we visit, as I said, Boulders Beach and the Penguins. There is exquisite food and wine at the Food Barn in Noordhoek. It's tapas style, and it is paired with fine wine. As I mentioned, we have Gigi Rooftop Restaurant. There's also Kloof Street House, which is an incredible dining experience, and Cousins Trattoria, where you'll eat fresh pasta that is rolled in a giant Parmigiano cheese wheel and served right there next to your table, and an Aperol Spritz. Such a cultural melting pot in the center of Cape Town. You can honestly just indulge in so many different cuisines: Italian, Greek, fusion, French fine dining. Excuse me. And just a note about the unlimited pass, the hop on, hop off pass. There are 80 experiences that are available for LUXE Awakening and No Worries, where you can sunset sail in the bay, in the waterfront. You can do all sorts of experiences like the cableways. Too many to mention. You can check out all the details. But the one thing that is really noteworthy is you get one premium experience, and I recommend that you choose the helicopter scenic flip. It's only 12 to 15 minutes, but you really get that bird's eye perspective of the whole of Cape Town, the city bowl, and the peninsula, the 12 Apostles Mountains right on the ocean. Of course, Transcendent Immersion gets a helicopter flip that takes you to Robben Island and does a flyover of that iconic landscape where Nelson Mandela spent so much time incarcerated. Okay, what else can I tell you about Cape Town and the dining? Transcendent Immersion gets to dine in-house at Curated, also has a fine dining experience at Salsify that is paired with fine wine. And I've also included the Food Barn, as well as a night of Thali at Chef's Warehouse Thali restaurant in town. And then we move on to our final location, Franschhoek, the Franschhoek Valley. It's about a 50-minute drive from Cape Town, and it is absolutely exquisite. It is going to be harvest time in the valley. No Worries stays at the Last Word Franschhoek, which is very classic. It's located in the heart of Franschhoek, as is Liu House. Both hotels are really well located for your dinner in town, either Le Petit Colombe or Protégé or Épice. And then Telegraph, Transcendent Immersion. The first night's dining is in-house at Hoseki Restaurant, which is, again, degustation dining and paired with fine wine. The wine tram experience, that is the following day, the curated wine experience visits 3 different wine farms, and it has a 3-course lunch under the oak trees. That is for No Worries, as well as for LUXE Awakening. It's called the Exceptional Cuisine and Wine Experience, and it just goes, it's a slightly elevated experience of 3 to 4 different wine farms, as well as lunch. You get, I think, a breakfast and wine pairing, and then you have lunch and wine pairing, as well as a dessert. It's a full day experience. And Transcendent Immersion gets that kind of experience, but in a small luxury exclusive setting. So that is a private experience for Transcendent Immersion. So I cannot wait to hear your comments, your questions. This is a limited time offer. It closes on the 7th of October. So bookings are open until then. The pricing, everything you need is in the sales brochure on my link tree, or you can simply comment sacred below and I'll send you everything you need. I can't wait to hop on a call with you. We'll have a compatibility call before booking for LUXE Awakening and No Worries, as we're traveling together in a small group. And for Transcendent Immersion, simply follow a booking link. So I cannot wait to hear from you.